It says I made $148, but I'm still hungry. Not just hungry like I missed dinner, hungry like something's been hollowed out and never filled. The number just sits there, glowing like it means something. I've stared at it for a while now. I don't know why. It doesn't change. The screen doesn't care how long I look at it. The light just keeps pulsing like it's proud of itself, like it expects a thank you. I'm parked behind a Jack in the Box that stopped taking orders an hour ago. The engine's still running because I don't want to lose the heat. It's not even that cold tonight. But somehow I am. My hands feel dry and stiff. My back won't straighten right. I didn't realize I was still wearing my seatbelt until it cut into me when I shifted. I loosened it but didn't take it off. The fries I grabbed earlier are still sitting on the passenger seat. They've gone cold and soft in their bag. I thought about eating them when I first pulled into this lot, but then I saw the number. I saw that 148, and for some reason, it stopped me. Like if I ate, it would mean I earned it. And I'm not sure I did. I know that's a strange thing to say. I drove, I waited, I picked up orders and dropped them off and smiled when the customer opened the door, even when they didn't say anything back. I said, "Enjoy," to a closed door once. I watched the tip notification disappear without even a sorry. I sat through red lights, wondering if the next order was going to be worth turning around for. I think I made it. I think I worked. But I don't feel like I earned anything. It's not the number, it's what the number doesn't know. The gas light came on hours ago. I put in $15 just to keep going, knowing I'd need to stretch it for another full day. The brakes are starting to squeal again. I pretend not to hear it when the music's on. I don't play music much anymore. It distracts me. From what, I'm not sure. Maybe from the way my thoughts drift when it gets too quiet. Maybe from the sound of the fan whirring behind this fast food place like a ghost that never sleeps. There's something about the way it just keeps going. Steady, loud, mechanical. Like it doesn't care what time it is. Like it doesn't care who's listening. I think that's what the app sounds like in my head now. That same hum. That same indifference. That same promise it doesn't plan to keep. People see the number and think it means you're okay. 148. That's a decent day, right? That's what they say. Like it's real, like it's a check, like it includes the 22 miles I drove without pay between pickups, the half hour I sat outside a closed restaurant because the app didn't tell me it stopped taking orders, the part where I had to wait 10 minutes for a security guard to let me into a gated complex, only for the customer to tell me to leave it at the lobby like they couldn't be bothered. The part where I double-checked my tone before responding, because one wrong sentence can mean a 1-star review. I don't see $148. I see what it took to make the app show that number. I see every piece of me I gave up for it. And still, I looked at it like it meant something. I actually looked at it and felt a flicker of something close to hope. Not joy, not pride, just that whisper of a feeling that maybe if I pushed one more hour, I could crack 160, 170, just to see it, just to screen grab it, post it in some group chat of strangers who are also doing the math wrong on purpose. Like we're trying to fool ourselves. Like if we say it out loud, maybe it'll feel real. I wonder how many of us are parked in lots like this, watching that number glow while our bodies unspool quietly under the weight of it. 148. That's what they want us to see. That's the story they want us to believe. Not the hands cramping from gripping the wheel too long. Not the legs that fall asleep at red lights. Not the way we ration caffeine to stay awake but not crash. I keep thinking about how much I used to think that number mattered. When I first started, it felt like a win, like a paycheck in a pocket that belonged to me. But then the math started creeping in. Gas, time, wear, deductions, gaps, taxes I didn't set aside for, tips that got pulled back, bonuses that never landed. And suddenly that 148 starts shrinking. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. You keep scooping, you keep hustling, but it never stays. And now, I see it for what it is. Not a reward, not a result, just a placeholder, just a screenshot waiting to become a bill, a number that says you did something, but doesn't tell you what it cost. I looked at my bank account earlier, $11 and some change. I laughed, not because it's funny, but because it was the only sound I had left. I thought about transferring some of the day's earnings, but I already knew what would happen. As soon as I did, it would get sliced. Auto withdrawals, partial payments, gas, maybe some fries that I would actually eat next time. It never stays. That's the part that gets me, the way it disappears even before you spend it. Like it knows it doesn't belong to you. Like it was never yours to begin with. And still, the app congratulated me. It said, "Great work today." It sent confetti across the screen, like I won something, like I'm supposed to celebrate, like I didn't just trade my body for numbers that don't last. I sat there and watched the confetti fall across my tired reflection in the phone screen, and I just didn't feel anything. Not pride, not shame, just nothing. Like I wasn't even there. Like I was watching someone else's win through glass I couldn't break. The cold fries are still on the seat. I think I'll eat them now. Not because I'm hungry, just because they're there. Just because I have to remind myself that something in this car is still real, that something still belongs to me, even if it's soft and stale and silent. I'll finish them. Then maybe I'll check the promos for tomorrow. Maybe I'll sleep. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll wake up and try again. Maybe I'll stare at another number tomorrow night and pretend it matters. Maybe I won't. I'm not sure anymore. But the engine's still running, so I guess I am too. The app glows. My account doesn't. The app glows like it's proud of me, like it knows something I don't. It says, "You've earned $148 today. Great work." There's a little sparkle around the number, a soft pulse of color, like it's breathing, like it's alive, like it cares. It congratulates me with a tiny banner at the top of the screen, like I just crossed some kind of finish line, but the second I tap cash out, it all starts to disappear. The illusion breaks quietly. No crash, no scream, just subtraction. 75 cents just to move the money. $4 gone the moment I hit the gas station. I stand at the pump, watching the numbers click upward like they're taunting me, like they're reminding me that none of this stays. I keep the screen brightness down now. The optimism hurts my eyes. Everything on the app is smooth, shiny, soft-edged, rounded corners, pastel colors, clean fonts. It looks like safety, it looks like order, but it's not. It's a mask stretched over chaos. Overdraft warning hit this morning. The alert came in before I was even fully awake. Just a little red bubble under a bank app that used to feel like a net and now just feels like a mirror. I transferred $30 from the app to cover it. It didn't even land in time. The late fee hit before the transfer cleared, so I paid extra for being broke. Again, I've started measuring my life in delays, 3 days behind on phone, 4 days late on rent, oil change overdue by 600 miles. I'm not sure how long I've been wearing these socks. I just know they're tight around the ankles now. The elastic gave up, kind of like I did. I don't even get mad anymore. I just watch it happen. the beeping at the gas pump when my car doesn't go through the first time, the pause before it clears, the relief I don't show. I keep my face still, like I'm used to this, like it's no big deal, like I'm not holding my breath while I wait to find out if I have enough to get home. The app says I've earned over $900 this week. That's what it shows when I open it. A big, bold number sitting on top of a smiling graphic. Balloons, maybe, or confetti. But I don't feel $900 richer. I don't even feel $20 richer. I feel like someone who's been slowly disappearing into their own expenses, into miles, into meals skipped, into payments delayed just long enough to not fall completely apart. I stare at that number and I know it's not mine. It's a shadow, a placeholder, something that passes through me on its way somewhere else. The car gets most of it, the bank gets a slice, the gas station eats a piece every night. I get what's left, and what's left is usually silence. I used to celebrate the payouts. I'd watch the fuel gauge rise and feel like I was refilling something inside myself. Not anymore. Now I just stand there while it climbs. $2, $4, $7, $11. The clicks get slower when the tank's almost full, but my stomach stays empty. I don't stop for food unless I'm shaking. I tell myself it's discipline, but it's just rationing. Time, money, energy. I ration everything now. The heater, the volume, the distance I'm willing to go for an order that might cancel halfway there. I've learned how to mute my hope. The hardest part is pretending the money's real, pretending the number means something. Every time I look at it, I have to act like it's a fact, like it's stable, like it's not just a digital promise that I already know won't hold. The bills don't care about what I earned. They care about what I have. And what I've never matches what I made. I've had weeks where I earned over $1,000 and still had to borrow $20 to keep the lights on, still had to choose between laundry and dinner, still had to hold my breath when the phone buzzed because I didn't know if it was another promo or another warning. I once drove all day just to cover a single bounced check. 10 hours, 7 deliveries. 2 of them stiffed me. 1 gave me $1. I burned a quarter tank doing circles around the city just to put out a fire the app never saw. And at the end of it, I had maybe $15 left. Before gas, before wear, before breath. And the app? The app told me, "Well done, you're on a roll." I stared at that sentence longer than I should have. I wanted to laugh, I wanted to cry. But mostly I just sat there watching the screen like it might tell the truth if I looked long enough. I don't take screenshots anymore. I used to. Back when the payouts still felt like milestones. Back when I thought if I shared them, someone would understand, but nobody wants to see the math behind the image. Nobody wants to hear how much of that $300 day went to brake pads or how much of that $40 tip was the only thing keeping my account from going negative. People see the gross, they don't see the ghost. There's a kind of silence that lives in this work. It's not the kind you hear, it's the kind you feel when you check your balance, and it doesn't change. When you cash out, and the number vanishes like it was never real, when the glow of the app is the only light in your car at night, and it's too bright, and it hurts your eyes, but you can't look away, because it's the only thing that tells you you're still working, that you still matter, that you still exist, to something somewhere. I stopped believing in the number a while ago, but I keep chasing it, because it's all I have left to chase. I tell myself if I can just hit 200, then maybe I can breathe for a second. Maybe I can fix the noise the car makes when I turn too sharp. Maybe I can put more than $10 in the tank at a time. Maybe I can take a day off. Maybe I can eat something that doesn't come in a wrapper. But I never hit 200. I get close. Then something breaks. Then something bills me. Then something cuts the line. And I start over. Every day feels like starting over. Every delivery feels like a question I already know the answer to. I hand someone their order and wonder if they see me. If they know I'm not okay. If they realize they're the only interaction I've had today that wasn't through a screen. Most of them don't look at me. Some nod, some don't. But none of them see the overdraft in my eyes, the receipt in my breath, the way I flinch when the app buzzes. Not because I'm excited, but because I'm afraid it's another offer I can't afford to decline. I used to think this was just a rough patch, that I'd figure it out, that the money would start staying, that I was just bad at budgeting. But it's not budgeting if the math doesn't work. It's not discipline if the dollars are already gone before you touch them. It's not flexibility if stopping means collapsing. And I think the scariest part is that I still check the app every morning like it's going to tell me something different. Like maybe this time the glow will be real, but it never is. I'm not sure what I made, but I know what I lost. I'm not sure what I made today, but I know what I lost. I know I lost another hour of sleep this morning because I thought the breakfast orders would surge. They didn't. I sat in the lot behind a Dunkin' for 42 minutes, watching the sun climb up over a row of trash bins, wondering if that pain in my jaw was stress or hunger. I didn't eat. I told myself I'd wait until the next good payout. It didn't come. The first ping was 6 miles away for $3. I took it anyway, and by the time I dropped it off, the hunger had passed. But so had something else, something I still can't name. I think I lost something in my body today. Not a bone or a muscle, just something in the middle, something that used to stretch and breathe. My back keeps giving out in slow increments. It doesn't announce itself, it just stiffens, locks, resists the twist when I reach across the seat for a bag. It used to be flexible. I used to be flexible. Now I move like someone trying not to break, like everything I do has a cost I can't pay up front. I lost another meal, maybe 2. I stopped keeping track. There's no lunch break here, just gaps between pings where you're supposed to grab something fast. But the fast food makes me slower. It makes me sick. And the good food takes time I don't have. So I ration crackers. I drink water from a warm bottle in the door pocket and tell myself I'll eat when I get home. I say home like it's something I actually arrive at instead of a place I pass through to recharge both myself and my phone. I lost part of my afternoon waiting outside a Chipotle that forgot the order existed. 22 minutes watching the workers joke behind the counter like I wasn't there. I didn't want to be angry. I just wanted to leave. But I waited because if I canceled, the algorithm might notice. I've learned not to make waves, not to cancel, not to message too much. I've learned to be patient in places where no one sees me. That patience has a cost, too. It doesn't show up in dollars. It just erodes you quietly, like wind over stone. I lost daylight. I watched the sun set through my cracked windshield without even realizing it was getting dark. The evening orders were slow. I parked in a grocery lot and listened to the tick of the engine cooling. Every few minutes I check the app, scroll through promos that don't apply to my zone, and tell myself not to check the bank balance again. I already know what's there. Not enough. Just enough. Too little to quit. Too much to give up on. I lost another chance to see my niece tonight. My sister called while I was on a run. I let it go to voicemail. I didn't want to lie and say I was free later. I'm never really free. I just have dead zones. Time where nothing happens but guilt and waiting. I don't tell people that I miss them because I'm afraid they'll ask why I don't just take a break, why I don't rest, why I don't stop. As if stopping is even an option, as if rest isn't a luxury I haven't earned. I lost more than time today. I lost myself a little. Somewhere between the 7th and 8th delivery, I forgot what street I was on. Not because I was tired, but because all the streets blur now. They don't feel like places. They feel like routes, numbers, zones. Every corner is a means to an end. Every building is just a stop on the way to the next. I used to look at houses and imagine what it was like to live in them. Now I just look for the unit number and hope they don't make me take the stairs. I lost the version of myself that used to dream. I can't remember the last time I thought about a future. Not a big one, not a hopeful one. Just next week, a vacation, a plan, something I was building toward. Now everything feels like maintenance, damage control, patch the leak, fill the tank, cover the charge. I used to have goals. Now I just have bills. I lost track of how many times I apologized today for being late, for the restaurant delay, for traffic, for the wrong sauce that wasn't my fault, for existing maybe. I say sorry so often it's lost all meaning. It's become background noise, something I offer just to make it through the handoff, just to keep the stars from dropping. I lost another 5-star rating last week. The app didn't tell me why. It never does. Just one less star. One more inch closer to deactivation. One more reminder that all of this is conditional, that survival here is not about performance, it's about silence, about showing up, shutting up, and moving fast. And if you do it right, you get to do it again tomorrow. I lost the feeling that this is temporary. That might be the hardest part. I used to believe this was a stopgap, a bridge, a way to get from one thing to the next. But the next thing hasn't come, and the bridge feels like it just loops back around to the start. I'm not waiting to get out anymore. I'm just waiting to survive the next week, the next wave of expenses, the next breakdown. I lost count of the breakdowns. Mechanical, emotional, financial. They all blur. My car makes new sounds every few weeks. I ignore most of them. I pretend the shutter is just the road, that the tapping is just the heat, that the check engine light is more of a suggestion than a threat. But the truth is, I'm always driving on borrowed time. And when the car stops, so does the money. And when the money stops, I don't know. I lost the line between work and life. This job doesn't end, it pauses. I sleep in the same clothes I drive in. I eat in the driver's seat. I scroll the app before I brush my teeth. I fall asleep thinking about surge zones and wake up wondering if it's worth it to log on before breakfast. This isn't work, it's orbit. I just revolve around the same task, over and over, hoping to land somewhere soft. And in all this, what did I make? I don't know. The app says one thing, my bank says another, my body says something else entirely. But I know what I gave, I know what's been taken, and I know that whatever I made today, it wasn't enough to get any of it back. Not the time, not the sleep, not the silence I used to feel before every moment was filled with worry, not the peace I used to carry in my chest before everything became a calculation. So no, I'm not sure what I made, but I know what I lost. And I'm starting to wonder how much more of me I can afford to give away. The money isn't the point. It's the lie that hurts. The money isn't the point, not anymore, not after this long, not after watching it vanish again and again like breath on a cold window. What hurts isn't what I made, it's what I believed. I used to think this was freedom, I really did. I told myself I was choosing this, that I was my own boss, that the flexibility meant power, that I was escaping something by being here, when the truth is I was walking straight into the same trap, just with softer walls and a glowing screen that pretends it's your friend. I wake up to app notifications now, not alarms. They buzz like they know me, like they care. Busy in your area. Extra boost from 11 to 2. Don't miss out. It's always a whisper disguised as an opportunity, a baited hook dressed as a choice. And I fall for it every time. Not because I believe it anymore, but because I don't know how not to. It's routine now. Wake up, check the app, check the fuel, check the bank, check the gut to see if today's gonna hurt more or less than usual. Then drive. The phone is both jailer and paycheck. It holds the key and the chain. When it lights up, I move. When it's silent, I wait. I can't afford to miss a ping. I can't afford to not be seen. The silence between notifications feels louder than any alarm. It feels like slipping, like disappearing, like being punished without warning. And I don't even know what I did wrong. The flexibility they sell you is just absence in disguise. No benefits, no schedule, no protection, no floor, just empty space you have to fill with yourself, your car, your time, your health, your hope. And they call that freedom. But freedom doesn't feel like being alone with no safety net. Freedom doesn't feel like rationing gas just to accept a $5 delivery. Freedom doesn't feel like dreading a day off because the bills don't take breaks. There's a bonus offer on my screen right now. It says if I complete 15 deliveries tomorrow between 11 and 7, I'll get an extra $20. 15 deliveries, $20. That's not a bonus, that's a leash. That's bait. That's a company telling me how to spend my day with the promise of crumbs, and I'll probably take it. Not because I want to, but because saying no means losing even more. The worst part is they know I'll say yes. That's why they send it. They've turned survival into a game. Points, streaks, badges, gold stars for staying alive. I look at the app, and it doesn't even look like a job anymore. It looks like a video game I'm too tired to keep playing, but I don't know how to quit. There's no quit button. There's just silence. And the silence doesn't feed me. The silence doesn't refill the tank. No one checks in. No one calls to ask if you're okay. There's no HR, no manager, no support line that actually supports. If your car breaks down, that's your problem. If your health gives out, that's your burden. If the tips don't come in, or the order's slow, or someone reports you for something you didn't do, you disappear. You vanish from the algorithm, from the queue, from the world, and no one notices. There's no sick days, no savings, no rest. I can't remember the last time I had a week without panic, a day without calculations. Everything is math now. Miles to dollars, hours to meals, payouts to rent, hope to reality. I don't dream anymore. I calculate. I plan how to survive 30 more days, not how to build anything, not how to move forward, just how to keep breathing without drowning. I thought I was building something when I started, a cushion, a runway, a bridge to something better. But the bridge never led anywhere. It just looped, around and around, and every time I thought I was close to getting ahead, something would take it. Gas prices, repairs, a slow week, a bonus that didn't hit, a customer who removed a tip after I smiled at their door like it mattered. Every time I thought the numbers were mine, they reminded me they weren't. I wasn't supposed to keep anything. That's what I see now. The number was never the point. The point was to keep me moving, to keep me chasing, to keep me just tired enough to not question it. The payouts were designed to look just good enough to keep going, but never good enough to stop. It's a loop. It's a trick. It's a machine that feeds on belief. And mine's running out. It hurts to admit that, because it means I let myself believe it. It means I defended it when people said I deserved more. It means I swallowed the language they gave me. Flexibility, independence, grind. As if those were food. As if those were real, but they weren't. They were just smoke. And now the room's cleared and I'm still here holding a phone that tells me I made money, while I sit in a car that needs tires, on a stomach that hasn't had real food in 2 days, with a heart that doesn't believe in the next payout. This isn't just poverty. This is betrayal. Not loud betrayal, not obvious. Quiet. Cumulative. The kind that wears you down instead of taking you out. The kind that smiles while it empties your hands. The kind that uses your own hope against you. I thought I was working for myself, but I was working for something I couldn't see, something I never touched. I was feeding a system that only needed me to keep going, not to survive, not to thrive, just to keep showing up until I wore out. And now I'm worn out. Not broken, not ruined, just used. Like a charger cable that frays at the base, like a tire that still spins but pulls to the left, like a seatbelt that locks for no reason. I'm still here, still moving, but not because I believe in it anymore. Just because I don't know where else to go. I don't know if I'll ever believe another number again. They all lie. They all glow like promises and fade like fog. I look at the payout screen and I see what I used to hope for, what I used to trust, what I used to chase. But now, I see a trick, a lure, a leash made of light and praise and nothing I get to keep. And that hurts more than the money ever could. I count my earnings in miles and my hope in empty tanks. I count my earnings in miles now, how far I went just to end up right here. Not in dollars, not in time, just distance. 117 miles today. For what, I couldn't tell you. I don't remember the orders, I don't remember the faces. Just driveways that all looked the same, doors that opened just enough for a hand to reach out. Instructions that said, leave at door, like they couldn't even bear to see me. Like I was something delivered by wind. I left a birthday cake on a porch tonight. Big white box with balloons drawn in icing. The house was massive, lit up like a hotel. I stood there for a second longer than I should have. Not because I was waiting, but because I couldn't move. I looked through the window and saw a family laughing, a kid running, a pile of wrapped gifts on a table that could have fit my entire apartment. I didn't feel jealous, just small, like I was part of the wall outside. The door never opened. The app said, "Great job." I skipped breakfast again. I don't know why I pretend it's a choice. I told myself I'd eat after the lunch rush. But then the lunch rush never came. Just cold hours in a strip mall lot, watching clouds pass in the rear view like time didn't care. By the time I felt hunger, it was already evening, so I pushed through. Again. It's easier than explaining to myself why I didn't stop, or why stopping feels worse than starving. There's a crack running across my windshield. It wasn't there 3 weeks ago. I watched it grow a little every day, from the edge to the middle, like a fracture that couldn't hold the pressure. I haven't fixed it. Not because I can't, but because I'm scared of what it would cost. Not just the money, but the downtime, the hours I'd lose, the gap I'd have to answer for. That's the thing no one says. Sometimes the cheapest way to survive is to keep breaking. Sometimes I pray over the steering wheel, not loudly, not even fully. Just a thought I press into the leather, a breath I hold while I ask for the engine to keep going, for the brakes to hold, for one more night of not being stranded. It's not about safety, it's about delay. I just need things to last long enough to get me to tomorrow, and then tomorrow I'll need the same. I keep a blanket in the trunk now. Not because I sleep in the car often, but because I've stopped pretending it won't come to that. I've done it before. In lots that go quiet after midnight. In side streets with the windows cracked. I fold the seat back and cover myself like the silence might forget I'm there. The car has become more than transportation. It's a kitchen, a break room, a shelter, a grave I haven't fully laid down in yet. It smells like fries and Fabrizi, like stress and desperation, like breath that hasn't relaxed in days. There was a moment this week, just one, where I almost cried. I don't even remember what triggered it. Maybe it was the canceled order after I'd already driven 8 miles. Maybe it was the customer who watched me climb 3 flights and didn't say thank you. Maybe it was the bank text that reminded me I still owe money for money I never really saw. Whatever it was, it caught in my throat. I felt the heat rise. My chest tightened, but nothing came. Just a long blink, a shallow exhale. I think I forgot how to fall apart. I've gotten good at silence, at nodding, at keeping my head tilted just right so the customers think I'm friendly or invisible. I'm not sure which is better. Every delivery is a performance. Every smile is insurance. Every 5-star rating is a lifeline I didn't know I needed until it disappeared. I don't know how I'm doing. The app tells me I'm excellent. My back tells me otherwise. My eyes, my bank, my hands that grip the wheel like it's the last thing tethering me to the ground. I used to talk to myself more in the car, out loud, little things, cursing, jokes, mocking the app's motivational messages. But lately I've been quieter. Not out of peace, but emptiness, the kind of quiet that hums, that stretches, that waits. It fills the cabin like fog, and I sit in it until something buzzes. The application, a reminder, a low fuel alert. Something to bring me back. I used to come back faster, now I drift longer. I don't think I'm tired in the normal way anymore. Sleep doesn't fix it, food doesn't either. It's a different kind of tired, like someone pulled the plug halfway and left the lights dim. I still move, still drive, still hit accept when the ping comes through. But I don't think I'm chasing anything. I think I'm just avoiding the stillness. Because in stillness, the truth speaks louder. And I'm not sure I want to hear it again. Hope comes in strange forms now. In gas tanks that don't hit E until the last run is done. In customers who tip in cash. In traffic lights that stay green just long enough to coast. It's not big, it's not warm, it's the kind of hope you don't share out loud because saying it makes it fragile. Saying it invites loss. So I keep it small. I keep it secret. Like a flame I cup with both hands, knowing even breath could put it out. I've thought about crashing. Not in the dramatic sense, not for harm, just for pause, for the excuse, for something that would make it okay to stop, something that wouldn't feel like quitting, just ending. For a while, I drive long hours. My eyes blur sometimes. I wonder if the universe would forgive me if I closed them for a second too long. Not out of despair, just out of surrender. The saddest thing is, I don't think anyone would notice if I stopped. The customers would get reassigned, the app would adjust, the orders would keep flowing, the world wouldn't feel my absence. And maybe that's what this job teaches you more than anything, that you were never really here to begin with. Just a name on a screen, a moving dot, a disposable ghost that hands off a meal and disappears before the door closes. So I count my earnings in miles now, because the dollars don't stay, but the distance does, the wear on the tires, the oil that blackens too fast. The receipts I don't bother saving, the gas stations I know by heart, the empty tanks that mirror something inside me I don't know how to refill. And I count my hope in how long I can coast before the next ding, before the next drop, before the next hollow congratulations. Anyway, the phone just buzzed again,